So, guys, we all know that the worst of the problems, facing Nigeria is the lack of creativity among our leaders. We have leaders who don't sit down to think and ask themselves what next. And that is why we've seen this level of docility among our state governors, across the nation. This time around, Fayose Jr. is taking on the Nigerian governors for not doing enough to help the economy. That many of them are very lazy. Very dormant. There is nothing happening in their states and they are only waiting for the federal cake to be shared. So I'm going to allow you just take a look at what Fayose Jr. said. Take a look for yourself.
Nigeria, we have the largest number of lazy governors in the world. Nigeria, I repeat, we have the highest number of lazy governors in the world. Ebonyi State, they have limestone. Their governor is not doing anything about it. He just come to Abuja every month to collect money and go back. No single factory there, and they have the largest deposit of limestone. Enugu, coal. All of us know, we know how much they are selling coal in international markets. Check it on your phone. But the governor rather come to Abuja to collect allocation every month. Sanfara, gold. The governor, they look away. Consign me. Shebi, I'm going to Abuja to collect money. And they are using helicopter, private jet to come and carry his gold away. Because if we go to Abuja and collect allocation, Ondo State, the world second largest deposit of bitumen, even Ondo State no get road. They no get factory. Even the road where Ondo State get, na import am. But the bitumen wey they import, they under their feet. Ekiti State, agrarian state. Ekiti State cannot produce single Ekiti yam or single Ekiti product. They even built airport. They lock the airport after commissioning it because they know they are going to Abuja at the end of the month to collect allocation. They use 3 billion to clear land when they can buy tractor. Abia is the biggest market in West Africa, but they sit at home every Monday. Sit at home. Akwa Ibom has the longest sand beach in the world, one of the longest. No single tourist. They didn't even advertise it for tourism. Now laziness. Our governors are very lazy. All they know is come to Abuja, collect allocation, bully your local government. President Tinubu, this your tax reform is one of the best. No going back. No room for lazy governor. Stop spoon feeding them. Let them go and generate revenue. God bless Nigeria.
Is the governor of the Southeast 2024?
It's a very good question. So let me do it like this. I would, in alphabetical order, so there's no favoritism, run through the 5 states very quickly and give each one a score. Yeah, we can argue about the score I give them.
Okay.
I'll see how that works. Because it's been mixed. It's not been all good, but it definitely has not been all bad. There's a bit of silver lining in every single cloud. The way is clear. We don't have to hope or dimmer. We can believe that the way is good. But let me start with Abia, because I will never forget the night of the election. We were here, we're covering it, and I have a friend from Abia on the BC. We're always talking politics. He considers me a conspiracy theorist, so we're always talking politics. And I was like, on the BC, Alex Otti has won your state, and we're always bantering. Well, he went dead serious, and he said, Nnamdi, I think just got his first governor. That statement, it actually brought me down a bit because it now tells you where people of Abia were coming from before Alex Otti. They had been in a rent-seeking economy where rather than create value, people were just putting tap heads to pilfer state resources. They had not seen the development that came with having an industrial and economic powerhouse like Abia in the state. So when Alex Oti came in, there was a lot of hype. You know, he came in with the whole Labour Party movement, Labour Party wave. So a lot of expectations. And he didn't disappoint. From day one, he knew what he wanted. There's the commercial capital and there's the administrative capital. Abia is very important because if you're going to places like Akwa Ibom, you need to go. One of the best ways is through Abia. And one of the most graceful highlights of that is the duality of the Ikotekpene Road, where the half in Akwa Ibom is very fantastic and the half in Abia, you know, down Umudike all the way to Umuahia is an eyesore and it's terrible. You know, you also have the Aba Port Harcourt Way, which had parts of it that looked like an abandoned beach because you had white sand and grass and trees in the middle of the road. So he went to those things immediately. First time ever, quality construction company, the vendor was brought in, work was done. One of the main arteries in Umuahia that feeds Ikotekpene Road, also feeds the road going to places like Igakala Junction to bring you out to Umuahia South, which is Mission Hill, was expanded. So he knew what he wanted to do. Geometric Power was assisted, came on board, got every approval needed, power pushed into the market. You look at the quality of people like Ide Udagbala, the mayor of Aba North, and you look at the projects like the new area market under the construction of the project manager, Henry Okafor. And you see that you even they're thinking so far that every single plaza has an elevator large enough for you to carry your goods to any floor.
I remember that people.
So they're thinking very well. You can now drive down Fox Road, drive into power lines, right? And you're inside the market. You don't have to park at one place and start trekking because of bad roads. The incessant pyramid heaps, all the way from Branch Junction down, nowhere there again. You have a situation where they've incorporated large waste disposal units with the medians. So there's a clear thinking, clear focus. And what happens? You attract investors. Because of the roads he has done, all down Obo Hill, you go look at Ingwa Road, you look at Obingwa, the textile people, business is opening up. So you have people that are more impressed. So you look at places in GRA, you look at places like Tony Mans, PZ, a lot of private homes and hospitality, hotels coming up in all those places because people believe there is business coming in. Then you have what is going to be, I believe, one of the biggest impactful things, which is the Anambra Economic City, which is going to almost create development all the way from Aba to Port Harcourt. You have that, they've had their groundbreaking. So you look at the fact that the actions of OT, you know, has brought about a confidence in not just local but even external investors. And it's not that he's just facing, you know, commercial activities. There's also things like agriculture because immediately he sets his deputy governor along with the palm oil production association. And what are they doing? They're looking at dormant plantations, revitalizing them. They want to harness palm oil and increase the amount of impact they have on the value chain. Because palm oil is used for so many things. You wouldn't have to be biscuit to eat and the soap you use to bath. And Nigeria is importing when Nigeria has excess palm oil. So Abia is thinking very, very far. We still have one or two issues of unknown gunmen, but Abia is doing something that is very, very smart. Their attack on insecurity is to light up everywhere. So when there are things happening, when there are economic activities, when there are lights everywhere, it's very hard for you to operate in darkness. So they are thinking very well. And I have to say that the hype could have been a problem, but Alex Oti has more or less lived up to the hype. So people are saying, oh, he's slowing down. And I'm saying, no, he has come in and he has done the first step. The next step is following him. So all credit to him. I'll give him an A+ for what he has done.
So he gave Governor Alex Oti an A+. So guys, we all know that Governor Alex Oti has really been working since he came into office. Take a look at the roads in Aba and Umuahia. Across Abia State, Alex Oti is trying to touch all the areas in Abia. Look at the markets, the cleanup, the electricity he brought in. He has attracted so many investments into the state. And guess what? He even said he has not even started. Don't forget the arrears that he cleared for pensioners. I mean, accumulated money that was being owed by the previous government. This government of Alex Oti came in and he's already clearing them in their billions. Let's take a look at Governor Soludo.
Coming to Anambra, former, central bank governor, Professor Tinubu Soludo, again came with a lot of hype. You know, you had the Peter Obi government who said, look, it's education and stuff like that. And the legacy of the Peter Amba era, Anambra schools are still winning competitions till today. Anambra is still topping JAM, WAEC, common entrance. That legacy is still here. We've had the topmost administrators in surrounding states send their children to public and mission schools in Anambra because Anambra is an education powerhouse right now. Then you had urban expansion that Willie Obiano came in. You can look at how Oka expanded, developed, and how development started moving down. You know, before it used to be after Amobi, you had nothing. But now, you look at a bit of Junukofia, you look at places like Umunia, places like Okuzu, They are getting development because Oka is expanding. It's expanded into Enugu, moving to Abia, Ghana. So you're seeing that expansion. That was the hallmark of Willie Obiano. Then you ask yourself, what is Soludo's solution? And that's where the problem starts. Because while you have groups like Annings chasing investment, lots of brilliant, intelligent people, while you have people like Mr. Moloko doing a great job revitalizing the Anambra broadcasting service, you also have a lot of question marks. One is the fact that, and I'm not trying to demean the governor or anything, but someone said that if the people that are learning work, bricklayer, to do some of the finishing, there seems to be a dearth of quality in government projects in the state. We've seen roundabouts and gutters and covers destroyed because, there were a lot of other people complaining, government said, oh, destroy this. There seems to be a lack of fine finish. There also seems to be a disconnect with what people need. We know that when he came in, like most governors, he identified, just like I said, OT knew what people needed, which was infrastructure, power to boost things. He knew that Anambra needed to generate revenue. Now you have some powerhouses like Inewi and Onitsha. There had to be some synergy. What can I do to make these guys make more money and put some money in the system? They went in the opposite direction. How can we tax these people? Then you now had the Anambra went on a revenue drive. And people started complaining because the method is somebody has to bid for it. If you're bidding 300, 400 million and you have to pay the government that every month, you go and get your money back from revenue generation. You're going to employ any means to raise that money and get your profit. And to get ugly. People are also saying, why is Bigly Oil, a company associated with oil and gas company, in charge of revenue generation? Now, are they generating enough revenue? Maybe. But what is the effect of this? We see people doing businesses complaining. See, you can't move from maybe New Tire to Opiweka without paying 2-3 people. You find that the Owerri Road, the amount of checkpoints they place there, the amount you see them, you say, oh, army and police checkpoints are causing problems. It's not just them. These guys are there. They have their little kiosks. They put bamboos. They're the ones holding sticks, collecting revenue from lorries, from commercial drivers. So if you're going along that road all the way down, maybe you're going to Orifite, Okija, Ihiala, it's always a nightmare because of those people. And that needs to be addressed. I was in Orumba North yesterday. Look, fantastic road. All the way from Oka straight down. Not a single pothole. I will give credit where credit is due. All the way to Oko. The road is fantastic. But, that's one thing. I'm not saying he's done nothing, but I'm saying that overall, he doesn't even have a clear grip on security. Anambra is still in the throes of insecurity. And there seems to be a disconnect between the people that make Anambra a commercial powerhouse and the government's idea. You can't attract foreign investors if you have not placed your own internal businesses as the beautiful bride for suitors to come in. We saw Peter Obi did the main market. He decentralized it. New Tire here, building material market here. He spread them out. What happened? Real estate is coming to Upo. Real estate is coming to Mobunike. Real estate is coming to Obosi. Like, things were spreading out because there is now business in those places, which is what we expected from a former central bank governor and somebody who's an economic consultant. I think that disconnect is why I'm very, very sorry. I have to score profit D. It's not like things are not happening, but it's a solid D that if care is not taken, could drop to an E because there's a lack of investor confidence. And the sad part is that even within the government, there are things they are doing well, like the pharmaceutical park. It's a great idea, great initiative. But if the road leading there is insecure, who cares? If when you go to pick up medicine to move to Asaba or Enugu, you're going to be taxed blindly out of your eyes. The benefit gained in having local production, which is low cost, is lost by the time you have paid to revenue generators all the way. Because that cost must be passed on to the consumer. So these are the things that need to be considered. I think, unlike Alex Oti, there's a lack of strategic direction. I think Anambra has a lot of actions. And as you know, my dad would say a lot of motion but no movement. It was how he described my attempts at cleaning the house on Saturday
And that's
morning.
a horrendous thing to imagine.
So there's a lot of motion but there's no movement. And that's how I feel when I think of Anambra. And I think that there needs to be a more strategic approach. There are good things happening in bits. Even in the private sector. Inewi still Inewi, Onitsha still Onitsha. The social scene in Oka is fantastic. I mean, on Club Road alone, you can entertain the whole Southeast. But how are you bringing them together? What is the public policy and what is the infrastructure drive? Because whether I like it or not, even if you get into Onitsha, by the time you get beyond Oka Road and you start going inside main market, the road to main market should not be bad. And they've been constructing it for so long. You need to sort that out. If you get to Peggy, get all places, you need to put good roads. You get to Transinkisi, you get to, by the time you pass Beverly Hills, it's no longer a road again. It's now, so there needs to be actual strategic planning, infrastructure and public policy. These are the things that will link up.
All right. So you scored
if I'm to rate Governor Soludo, I'll just give him an F, because I don't really see what Soludo has done, in these 2 to 3 years of his in Anambra State. Looking at where he's coming from, a former central bank governor, an economist, somebody who has served as a consultant, somebody who people come to ask advice when it comes to economics and how to move a nation forward. Now he's giving just a small space like a state, Anambra. He cannot really show or showcase what his abilities are. Honestly, looking at the way Anambra is going down in the hands of Governor Soludo is really, really heartbreaking, because this is a man the people of Anambra expected so much from him. I mean, people loved him, people voted for him because of his records. Being a former CBN governor is enough to earn him that position. But now that he has come in, see Anambra, Peter Obi, who is even a trader, did far, far, far better than him. Anyway, let's move to Enugu State.
Ebonyi next, actually. And for Ebonyi, Francis Iforo came in, and there was a statement that the former governor, Dave Umahi, said he has to fight principalities to bring in Francis Iforo. I didn't understand why, but I understand why now. When Francis Iforo came in, he said, my predecessor has done infrastructure, now I want to face human capital development. And he took me back to a statement made on this same set by Barrister Fokansi, where he said, if they don't focus on human capital development in the Ebonyi State, all they will do is they will build more routes for people to hawk sausage. It's a reputation that has followed Ebonyi because of lack of industry, and Francis Iforo admitted that. And so what has been his approach? His approach has been many-sided. I'll look at this. One is direct involvement in people. Recently, we had about 300 million naira, about 95 graduates. They were trained in agricultural vocational skills, poultry, small-scale farming. And we're giving 3 million naira after the training. Now, it doesn't seem like a lot, but if somebody was going to poultry, we know that 3 million naira will sort your wire cages, your day-old chicks, your bulbs, to keep
all of that.
So it's that's somebody who understands. Look, I have an agrarian and cultural economy. Why don't we push money in and help people to scale up? Also, there's the deliberate attempt to expand Abakaliki to encourage people, and to think of not tourism but tourism support. On this, you can get to Obudu and Calabar, tourist hub on one side, of Ebonyi, and the spillover is your town. You also have Enugu, who is also trying to push that. Enugu too will expand in. So you have places like Nkalagu that are nearer to Eke that will benefit. Abakaliki is expanding. It's gone from just being the whole town, being around the old Ogoja road, where it's one roundabout and 5 banks. It's expanding now. Dave Umahi did the new Ogoja road. So the town is expanding now. People are moving towards Jesco Junction. The town is pushing out. So in terms of urban development, it's doing quite well. Then for health, because one of the first things was, renovate hospitals, where he bought cars for doctors who said why. Then he bought ambulances. What he's doing is trying to see if in Ebonyi they can not bribe, but entice people to look at, why should I take the risk of jackpotting when it's a bit comfortable here? There's no need to live where I'm comfortable, so that you get better quality health care in government hospitals for the people. That's another angle to, human capital development. Of course, he faced a problem when he first came in, which was that the airport had a problem with the runway. It was going to cost billions at the beginning. And people were like, they just have to spend money. But if you think about it, had he not gone and relayed that runway, you would have another very expensive monument dilapidating and rotting away in Ebonyi State. And the East is littered with them. We don't want another one. But he's done that. He's now even saying they should get equipment so that people can have the equipment, instrument landing systems instead of just visual landing systems. So you can land at night. You want international certification. I think the next step is you should go for cargo. If you can be a cargo hub, it will make a lot of sense for him, because from there to Adamawa, Cross River, it will be a great move. So I think that's some good thinking. Now, why Dave Umahi said he has 5 principalities, I understand why. Francis Iforo takes no prisoners. There was the issue of the community, the FPM community, that they had the land dispute. He came, he said, look, embrace peace. You're not going to listen to me. This disputed land is now a buffer zone. I don't see any of you inside it. Stay in your communities, embrace peace. This is a buffer zone, and he did that very, very quickly. And, there was somewhat happened when he surprised the Ministry of Health workers and showed up and saw them stealing material. Some of those people are on trial. They've been indicted, they're on trial, their trial is ongoing, and they are going to be convicted if found guilty. The governor is not playing. And it went more than that. You had Uche Naigwe, who was the Commissioner for Chieftaincy and Local Government Affairs. I don't know if it's related to that issue, but he has suspended the guy. Same thing, Commissioner for Health, Mr. Ekum, suspended. Same thing, Commissioner for Housing, I think his name is Ori, suspended. Like, he doesn't play. He suspends the commissioners and they are gone. And when he suspended them, to let people know that they might not be coming back, he has withdrawn their official cards. So this is not a governor who is afraid to make changes. So he takes no prisoners, and I admire that, because I think some people were hoping, okay, Dave Umahi came, it was a disruptor when he goes over the status quo, and Wipro is not allowing that. And I think I like his decisiveness.
Do you think he's maintaining the structure of Dave Umahi?
I think he's building an entirely new structure and focusing on a new strategy, which is there's a bit of infrastructure. We will keep doing infrastructure, but let's focus on people. Because, look, rich government, poor people, failed society. How fast you can funnel money from the government into the private sector is what will make your society prosperous. Because government they're not driven by meritocracy or profit. So there's no need to innovate or add value. So credit to Francis Wipro, he has done that. The problem with Ebonyi is that Ebonyi seems to be mute. They don't talk. They don't engage the press. Nobody knows what is happening. And if you're not talking, if you don't engage the media, if you're not media friendly, you can't even attract the investors that will come in and take advantage
Precisely.
of this. So that is the main problem with Ebonyi. Ebonyi has not learned how to come out and blow their own trumpet. Look, we're doing this, so come. So there needs to be better communication and media engagement, and also external stakeholder engagement, which I think is where Francis Wipro falls way short, and something needs to be done about that. But I'm going to score him a B+.
B+?
Yes, because even though people might not be knowing what's happening in Ebonyi, a lot is happening. A lot is happening, and I give him a lot of credit. So we'll come to Enugu State. I'm here, so word for word, I can tell you what's going on. When Alex started, he came in immediately and started doing things, and everybody loved it. It's about the other hand seems to be more about having meetings and a lot of handshaking pictures and deals were done. And what's going on? But now there's the problem of the Chinese bamboo that you plant it for like 2 years, it doesn't come out of the ground. Then overnight it can shoot 20 meters in the air. That's what has happened in Enugu. Enugu spent enough time building a proper foundation, and now we see that projects just won't stop. It looked as if it was slow at the beginning, but I think, and I was wondering, I remember when he first came there, tomorrow is here. I'm like, tomorrow is here, kwa. When I was young, my father used to say, tomorrow never comes, do it today. Why would he say tomorrow is here? I did not understand what he was talking about. But you look at it now at the same time, we personally, I've seen the construction of smart schools in almost every ward. It's not that I was told, I've been there. We're looking at the construction of roads. I had a friend come in this Christmas, he was at Nike Lake, so good infrastructure and security. We were having drinks and dinner in Nike Lake till past 1 in the morning. Then came into Enugu, did that in December, and I went to drop him back. This cannot happen everywhere in the southeast. Everybody knows the distance between Independence Layout and Nike Lake. But people were moving everywhere. When I went to pick it from the airport was choked. And that's what strategic thinking does. Because we have cameras, we have DRS, we have lights everywhere. People feel so safe in Enugu that even people who are not from Enugu spend their Christmas in Enugu. All the hotels, all the shortlets, all the Airbnbs, everything was booked. Everything was sold out. Why? Because people wanted to be in the east for the Christmas, and Enugu became the destination of choice. And that's because Enugu had placed itself in that position. And it's that synergy. So you have good roads, you have security, you have good infrastructure, then you have good idea for aesthetics. The Cultural and Tourism Ministry, we look at the events, we look at decorations. People never understand that aesthetics leave impressions that make people want to come back. And that brings a lot of money into your economy. So because of how they are strategically planned, look, even I remember when he said he wants to drink water in 180 days, and people said, no, it's not possible. People said, oh, there's no water. There is water. Sometimes, and I'm not speaking for government, it pains me to have to say good things about government. I really enjoy knocking them. But the truth is, I haven't bought water for 4 months. But every time water rushes to my area, you see kekes gathered, washing their kekes around busted pipe. We have our own problem. I thought that there might even be some sort of friction between the SA Water and the Commissioner for Water Resources. But the government, in this government, they need to understand their job very, very well. And when I say our own problem, I'll talk about some experiences I've had. Dr. Namani, the Commissioner for Water Resources, he's had issues where he's had to block trucks at MNA. Why? These iron condemned people, we talked about them. What is a lot inside their trucks? The tap head from the water galleries. People are vandalizing and selling them as iron condemned. Whose fault is that? The reason he had to start color coding trucks, because again, he caught some trucks, and I'm privy to that were selling so-called clean drink water to houses, but they were fetching it from these rivers at Transikulu, the one year the car wash at Independence Layout.
And who knows how many years that was going on before it was discovered.
So, so you have people who are really interested in their jobs doing their job. You have technocrats doing their job. And I think for Enugu, the way the team was built, the strategy that Governor Peter Amba uses, and how everything is linked and supporting the next thing. It's making a proper viable ecosystem, and it seems as if Enugu is developing together. So it very easily, I would give him an A+, very, 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 very easily, because I think like Governor Alex Oti, he came in having to first overcome doubters, because Alex Oti came in with a different party, breath of fresh air. He came in with the same party, and people are like, more of the same. But to be fair to the Peter Amba administration, they have done well. Let's call it a spade. They've done well. So finally, Imo. Whatever Governor Hope Uzodinma does, we never see them. What we see is insecurity and APC. That's what is pushed out. That's what we see. But the truth is, from day one, he was always fighting against the tide. He was not a popular governor. When you win in Supreme Court, the people are not, as far as you're concerned, you are a Supreme Court governor. You are not a choice. And then he was coming after the very, very charismatic and enigmatic Rocha Sokorocha, who is, quote unquote, the people's man. So when you come in with a different mentality, where you're more an action man than a, very outgoing person, the people are suddenly, the indices look very bad. When you went from Oringo City to a city that shut down at 7, you have places that are no-go areas. Right now, the Okigwe around these no-go axis now. There are places you cannot go in there.
Yeah,
people have to go around. I mean, during the elections, we saw our deputy chief correspondent, Emmanuel Wanze, having to almost go undercover to cover elections in the Okigwe.
That's an announcement.
Whole place was closed down. You also saw, we also heard from the people there that the Okigwe local government chairman operates from Owerri. So these are the things. And, there was also a problem when he first came. Yeah, he met insecurity from day one. And people were like, he's fighting him with a sledgehammer. And I remember somebody telling me, for every innocent boy that gets killed or gets arrested, he creates a new unknown gunman. But my question was always, what is he meant to do? The problem with Uzodinma had, unfortunately, a lot of it was not of his own making. It's a lack of Southeast regional security synergy. I was happy when they had the Southeast Security Summit, because imagine yourself, you're Governor Uzodinma, and you're pushing insurgents out from the Okigwe axis. But there is no push from Abia, from the Lokpanta, Isuchi axis. When you do that and you defend to your border, there's nowhere for them to run. So what you have is they simply displace and move around, because they can run circles around the people. The same thing, you are pushing them out of Olu. Those people pushed out of Olu are the people that have now made Ihala or Kija, all those places, almost ungovernable spaces. People from that area, that's basically the seat at home capital of the East. You can't come out in the morning, have a friend from Ihala. When he has to travel or anything, or when he comes visiting, the day before he goes back, he leaves his town so that he can move to the airport or anything anyhow. And it can't continue like that. But if Anambra had a security pact, a strategic security agreement with Imo, it's easy to come from Okija, Ihiala, and push back. And if somebody's pushing from Olu, you stop there. I mean, we see what happens in Ihiala. Rest in peace, Sake, a senior colleague from Supersport, who was among the people that were kidnapped and was sadly killed at Ihiala recently. Because that's the truth of what happened there. So Hope Uzodinma has the issue that everyone around him is not handling security with the same insecurity, with the same intensity he's handling it. The road infrastructure of Owerri and environs is fantastic. We have good road infrastructure, but nobody knows because nobody is there. It's a first problem. They are doing things like Heartland Fiber. One of my favorite projects of any government is the Okobi that they're doing in Imo State, one kindred, one business initiative, where they're trying to create generational wealth by making Umuna sign up as businesses. So whatever you're doing agriculture, anything, let's make you a corporate entity. You make money, you get investments, you can now apply for loans as Umuna in the village doing farming or doing textiles. I think it's so people don't have to do rural urban migration to be rich. So Governor Hope Uzodinma, sadly, despite everything he's doing, it's based on insecurity. So I would score him a C.
A C. All right.
So guys, you've heard it from this analyst. He has really done a very good job. But I tell you, when it comes to all these governors from the Southeast, I think after Alex Oti, the next governor should be that of Enugu State, who has been doing well to help the people of Enugu in terms of, bringing more, will I say, life into Enugu. Enugu in those days used to be that amazing place where everybody wants to go and live. But, people started deserting it. But this time around, I think this governor is really doing a very good job making the roads and bringing in entertainments and all those stuffs. And talking about Hope Uzodinma, Hope Uzodinma, if there's another grade lesser than F, I think that should be given to Hope Uzodinma. This is somebody who has, under his leadership, the Imolites have suffered a lot, especially in terms of loss of lives, security related problems, and all that. I don't think Hope Uzodinma should even be applauded for anything. Is he working? Nobody knows if he's working, because you can't tell us you are doing anything when the lives of your citizens are not secured. I think Hope Uzodinma has done fantastically bad. I mean, he is, for me, the worst when it comes to the governors of the Southeast. Let me know your thoughts, and let's conclude with this. So guys, you have seen it for yourself. Many of our leaders have this problem of not bringing out time to think, reflect, and have some, you know, some deep thinking that will end up with a very good outcome. This is one of the things we have as challenges, because we've seen our governors engaging themselves even into so many things they know they cannot afford to oversee. Take, for instance, the Tinubu's government, like the Buhari's government. They will tell you they are ministers for petroleum, when they know they don't even have time to look into their own role, let alone taking up the role of a minister. And at the end of the day, some of these things end up, you know, being a disadvantage instead of an advantage, because you end up knowing that Nigeria lack creative leaders, and that's why we hardly come up with something new, something innovative, even to emulate the simple things that they see when they go abroad. Is very difficult for our leaders. They only go to take medical treatment and other services, but when they come back, some of the things they see there, they hardly try to implement or bring about the existence of such in Nigeria. That tells you the level of docility among our leaders. And this time around, the question is, who is the best leader? Who is the best governor in the Southeast? I mean, who has outperformed? Anyway, without much thinking, we all know that Alex Otti should be at the forefront, because you can't even talk about Hope Uzodinma, who has ended up creating more enemies than friends. I mean, Imo youths were caught up in all the insecurity under the Hope's administration. That the Imo people will never forget. And guess what? Soludo has been in the news because of the level of, you know, insecurity in Anambra State. Anambra, which is the land of the billionaires, like they used to tell us. But today, people are afraid of going home because they risk being kidnapped under the leadership of a professor, Soludo. So, guys, things are not looking good in Anambra State. Now, you come to places like Abia State. Alex Otti has been doing a wonderful work despite the hard times in Nigeria. He has been busy working, clearing areas, fixing road, making sure there's electricity and all that. I mean, and also the man in Enugu is doing his best. I think he comes second after Alex Otti. Then that of what's it called, Ebonyi, could be said to be the number 3. You know, while Hope Uzodinma and Soludo rank last. The two of them are in the same category. Let me know what you think about this, my ranking, in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.